Customer is looking to get an estimate to have their front steps replaced and maybe their front walk here. All right, so currently we have a brick buttressed step with concrete in between. We are actually just gonna remove the whole thing, and we're not gonna bid it in the same configuration. We're gonna slightly alter it. So, and we're gonna bid this in two configurations. The first way are just straight steps. So we've got a total of 5 risers here, and it's 7 feet wide, and we have to pull it out about 14 to 16 inches to get ourselves a 3-foot landing. So we're going to have to theoretically cut into the concrete to create the new footprint for it. So 7 feet wide, pull it out, 5 risers. The material is going to be we'll call it like 50% Fond du Lac, 25% buckskin, and 25% dolomite. They like the yellow and the brown, so they wanted to have that in there. I understand that they got brown brick around their house. So the treads we are going to bid it with limestone, but say limestone or bluestone, because if they do the walkway, then I'm going to suggest that they go with bluestone. All right, so the first way is just straight steps, 5 risers, 7 feet wide. The second way is going to be a buttress that is level with their top landing right here. So it'll be just a single one, and it'll end behind the first tread, and that first tread will wrap all the way across. So that way it doesn't have a huge buttress that's kind of just sticking out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, and the buttresses will be 18 inches wide, just like they currently are. All right, now we've got for their walkway here. If you notice here, it's kind of curved and looking weird. We're actually going to move it over. We're going to straighten it out coming out of here. So it's 24 feet from the public sidewalk to here, or to where the step will be. And it's 4 feet wide, so it'll be 4 feet wide, and it'll flare to 7 feet here at the end. Now there is a single step that we are going to have to build as well out here, a single riser step. And we're going to bid this with a single riser step and a walkway, and then we're also just going to show her what the cost of a single riser would be out here, because I said that concrete in itself is going to be less expensive if they're looking at saving money. So if they do it all at the same time, I suggest that they do it all at the same time, because the sidewalks we can probably pull out for John, and we can do all the excavation for him, and it'll definitely save money because the step isn't going to fill up a whole dumpster. And also because this last panel right here is tipped down, she understands and she fully gets it that something needs to be done in this area, and that it's got to get done all at the same time, but we need to price it out as if they're not, like if we have to cut into it. Anyway, the other reason I'm saying all this is because what really needs to happen is that their sidewalk needs to get raised out of grade a little bit. And to do that, we have to start our step a little bit higher. So that way the sidewalk is out of the step a little bit. So that the sidewalk, is out of grade a little bit. So the bottom of the step will be higher, which gets us out of grade and having it go the right way. Because right now it feels like everything is going toward the house. So as you set up the heights for the steps, just be aware that if they're redoing the sidewalk, that needs to be going this way. Now, one thing that I'm just looking at right now is if they do decide to do this walkway, we might actually be able to subtract a step from this. These steps aren't terribly tall. They're about 6 inches. And if we raise this up, we might be able to get it down to 7.5 inch steps, and save them some money. But there's no way for me to know that until we tear it out and take measurements. So we're gonna bid it as I said, but be aware that we may consider, after we take measurements, we may consider taking out a step, adding a little bit of height to it, and giving them the proper grade on this. So, yeah, go ahead and bid this. Bid the walkway with bluestone, Sherry, pattern bluestone, so that way they can see what that costs. Minneapolis, fine parking. Recommendations to be added at the bottom will be anchor iron for a railing and John Mayer for concrete.